Hey people, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist, talking about shoes for preppers, for survivalists. What is it that you want? What is it that you need? What are the best alternatives? Now, the thumbnail that you clicked on, that is not my picture, but it's exactly what happened to me. Unfortunately, I wasn't aware enough so as to take a picture of my shoe that ended up just like that one. Guys, the thing is this, brutal honesty as always. I was out with a family, with my brother and so on. We were having nice lunch in a nice place. I start walking. I was actually taking my kid, my youngest one, to the bathroom, 4-year-old. When I started walking, my foot started falling apart. I just felt that it was just falling apart. It had only happened once before in my lifetime. In my cousin's wedding, these dressing shoes that I haven't used for years, well, they were just in perfect shape because I just don't wear suits. So I was walking, around in the party, and all of a sudden I feel that the heel starts falling apart. Damn it, in the middle of the wedding party, my shoe started rotting. The rubber starts falling apart, and the same thing happened this time. So I had my Columbia boots. I've shown those before. They were in perfect shape, and they were the most comfortable shoes I've ever owned. And since I don't use them all that much, that's what I use when I want to have a decent boot, but still dress maybe a little bit better, nicer. Anyway, this part here, this rubber stuff, this foamy thing, it just started falling apart. The shoe looked great, but and this is the lesson right here, after about 5, 6, anywhere from 6, 7, 8 years, 10 years top, this starts rotting. No matter how little you use it, it just starts degrading and it becomes like sand. It just falls apart. My advice is, if you have a shoe that is over 5 or 6 years old, check it. Try with your nail. Try ripping it apart with your nail. If it starts peeling off and breaking apart, get rid of that thing, because it's going to be leaving you pretty much barefoot at the worst possible moment. These are Columbia. These are quite good. Same as the other ones I had. But time does it no matter what. The shoes that happened before, those were Hush Puppies. Nice shoes. Actually great looking shoes. Same thing happened. The rubber foam thing degraded and it fell apart. It just happened to be like that. It just had this harder rubber, the sole started flip-flapping around like a big old tongue or a mouth, and this thing just completely degraded, turned into sand or clay, just something that had no integrity whatsoever, even though the rest of the shoe was perfectly fine. So what is it that I recommend for general use for a prepper-minded person, a survivalist that always wants to be ready? Well, some light hiking shoe is usually the way to go. You can go with a little bit more of a heavier boot. Now, I was watching some of the footage from Ukraine, some of the guys doing urban combat, some of the more special forcey kind of guy. They usually go with something kind of like that, like a lightweight hiking boot, a shoe. Some of them go with boots, and reading different accounts, some of the special forces guys want to go with a boot because this guy, I don't remember who it was, in a channel, he was saying that they were seeing lots of ankle injuries. I don't know if that's, because it's really not providing a lot of support, structurally speaking, in terms of your body. It is true, though, that if you're jumping through windows and going about that a little bit more rougher, your ankle will be more exposed. So in that aspect, yeah, something covering your ankles better. I feel that I have a little bit more support with something like that. Not doing combat, but just going through some of the more trying or some of the tougher trails that I've gone to with lots of rocks and your ankle constantly, ending up in very weird positions for an extended period of time in mountain terrain. Yeah, that is a bitch to walk on, and those will provide more support. I can tell you that much. General use, maybe that sort of thing, even something like that. When those shoes fell apart right in front, I was fortunate enough to have a store, and I bought these ones. These are Asics, which are also kind of good shoes. Trail Scouts 2, that's the model. These are quite nice. These are decent. This is stuff that rots away eventually. Now, look how little you have of the tougher stuff. Now, shoes that I go with, usually, for me, that's gonna be Salomon. Salomon are the way I go for, you know, pretty much these, those, Salomon over there. That's my go-to brand. And these have a lot of wear, lots of use, and they're still solid. They're still, you know, Salomon just gets it right, man. These have been walked on a heck of a lot, many years using these as my daily driving shoes, let's put it that way. But this structural thing, this combination, they just X-Ultra, great model. If you want something, if you want a tactical lightweight shoe, this is the way to go. It has Gore-Tex. I've never found it to be particularly hot, this one. Maybe with those, one of the things I noticed, because I have those Salomon as well here, and these are also Gore-Tex. These are very lightweight and hasn't got the structural thingy here that this one has, the hard plastic, but quite comfortable as a light shoe. It has Gore-Tex. These are a little bit more breathable. I would say that for this kind of shoe, go without Gore-Tex. It's just going to be breathing better, especially in warmer climates. Now, if you live in places where it rains a lot, yeah, probably Gore-Tex is a good idea, because all of this getting wet, Gore-Tex is going to be keeping it dry. Usually, you want to have Gore-Tex when you're talking about a higher boot, you know, when you're getting your foot in mud and you know water and so on. But as a daily use shoe, unless it's very rainy or wet, you probably can do without and take the advantage of a more breathable shoe all around. There's something to be said about those drying faster, because there's nothing keeping that humidity within. So even if you start sweating and so on, those dry faster than the ones with Gore-Tex. You know, either one, when you open those, if you stop, if you're walking a lot, you open them up nicely. But yeah, one more thing, if you're looking at doing a lot of work and that sort of stuff, you want to have actual work shoes. Those Caterpillars would be a great idea. Those have the safety toes, they have the protection from electric discharges. So whenever I'm using anything in terms of power tools or doing anything electric, I take a second, change my shoes, and go with proper work boots. You should do as well. This is one of the things that kills the most people. These stupid household accidents, you can prevent many of those by simply wearing the right shoes, especially when you're doing anything electric or doing stuff like that. That may be a lifesaver. I have, you know, like Converse, you know, normal sneakers and so on, but usually the advice would go somewhat like this. I like somewhat like that a lot. The Salomon Quest boots, one of the favorite for the, you know, the tactically Navy SEAL special ops community. They love the Salomon Quests. And I completely get it. As a hiking boot, it is fantastic. As a daily use boot, it is fantastic as well. I love those so much that I got the Forces model as well, the Quest Forces in that sandy color. Those are super comfortable and they're lightweight. It is ridiculous how comfortable they are. A little bit warmer because, yeah, you have a lot of boot going on, but super comfortable as a daily use boot. If you are okay with that, that would be my main suggestion. I know that's not the case for a lot of people. For most people, will probably want something lighter. Maybe this kind of thing or that sort of thing may be for you. Guys, that's going to be all for now. Remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a thumbs up if you got something out of the video. Share it with others. See you on the next one. Take care.